All right. All right. All right. All right. Hey, Hudson.
What's up, Kevin?
Hey, everyone. Yeah, we're excited. We've got the chats kind of filling up. So I see, some of our core community members coming in. We have, everyone here kind of on deck. So myself, Kevin, you guys know me. We've got Hudson here with us. We're going to be doing just kind of a presentation today and sneak peeks, and we've got a whole lot on the roadmap here for about the next 100 days. Um, just excited to really be doing YouTube lives. We do them quite often. We're definitely going to be looking at YouTube probably more more frequently. We have now, I think, about 9,000 subscribers. So Hudson and I just kind of took a look at it, and we were quite excited.
We were
And
surprised as well.
yeah,
It's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. But we've got a whole bunch, jam packed. We'll probably wait a minute or two. I can see Thespis Kane's with us. Awesome. Thespis Men's with us. Amijur 1412. We've got Dodger Blue. Hey, Dodger Blue. Thanks for the hats, man. Making the hats and representing Propbase at Bitcoin conferences. Alexander Legolas. So Alexander is a rock star for Propbase. I always follow your tweets, and a lot of you guys, we have a lot of DMs together, and so your feedback and stuff is awesome. Shadab Ansari, so nice seeing you here. It's just this is fun, you guys. It's Friday, or it's Saturday night in my time, and so we're this is how we like to spend our times, and so this is exciting.
Thanks for spending it with us. We know you got other things to do. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Lassie's here, so I think for the sake of time, we got a lot to cover today. To let you guys know, we have our whole community management team on board. We've got myself, Hudson here presenting. We've got Jesse's also around. We're monitoring a few things. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat here. You can also just put it in our Telegram. And then we push those questions too. So we're going to do about a 30-minute presentation. We're releasing some things on Telegram as well, which is some previews of our demos for the secondary marketplace. And we'll run through probably around, what we plan to achieve over the next 100 days and what we already achieved over the last 6 months. And get into product, talk about product, and really just a time to connect with everyone here. I'm also doing another video YouTube live on Monday as well. And then just because we're opening beta testing, we'll be quite active for the next, probably midweek, we'll probably do another one. And then towards Friday, which is the opening of the beta testing. And but before we start, I'll probably just Hudson, give it a go ahead for any new community members.
Yeah, no, thanks, Kevin. Welcome, everyone. I think most of you probably know who we are, certainly the illustrious Kevin here. But my name's Hudson. I am an executive director at Propbase, look after particularly strategy and finance topics. I think you guys see the logos. Well, the logos don't mean anything, but basically that's what I've been doing for a lot of my career. Met Kevin actually doing strategy at a startup we used to both be at in Bangkok called Kaidi. It was actually a marketplace platform, which was also in property. And so that's actually where we bonded and developed our shared interest in bringing democratization to the real estate buying and selling experience. And so we're excited to take what we saw from that point in time, from what I've done for the other parts of my career, which is basically strategy in startups and ventures, early stage venture building, bringing that to Propbase and creating a better experience for all of you. So I'll stop there. I'll pass it back to Kevin. Anything else you want to highlight, Kevin, or you want me to get into?
No, I mean, that's great. So I can see in the chats they're saying everyone knows Hudson and nobody knows me. So, it's but it's
Yeah,
really nice,
right.
guys. So
Sure.
we do a lot of X spaces. So we kind of thought, hey, we always kind of wanted to make this trend to transition to YouTube. And the reason is just with the software involved, we use StreamYard. We like to be able to do PowerPoint presentations. And just as a quick overview, so Propbase here, it's really the same team, right? So Propbase has a very strong technical team. We have 3 people in our leadership team. We've got administrative, finance, accounting, those type of roles. And then we have the best community management team in the business. And everyone's been with us since we launched. Everyone's, a holder of props. Everyone loves is passionate about what they do. And we're getting exceptionally good. So, we have a very strong track record over the last really year almost. We did the 1 year kind of since TGE. And so, we're always looking forward to the next 12 months. And I always say one thing is I always wish Propbase had a little bit more time, 1 more month or 2 more months, simply because we've been building for a year. As where a lot of other, amazing platforms in the space, they've had 2, 3, 4 years to whip out product. And but we work exceptionally fast, and our job is to deliver amazing, intuitive, easy to use, purposeful products that have a real world impact. And so just kind of and if anyone has questions, as mentioned, just put them in our Telegram chat, put them here. We're watching. But yeah, we're excited. So if you guys have been around with us for a while, we're very good in marketing, but we launch certain campaigns at certain times, and it's usually around significant events such as a product release, which is what's coming up now. We launched a marketing campaign called Propbase Spark in March of this year. We launched another one in July. And so they're all have been incredibly successful. And so this is kind of, a kickoff for our next marketing campaign, which we like to dub it as Propbase Surge. And it runs for about 100 days or so. And achieves a few purposes for us. And we've got tons of stuff involved in it, lots of YouTube, lots of some sex listings, which I know everyone likes to talk about and forecast about. We've got product releases, new asset offerings, everything. So we've been building for, about 3.5 months since our last major product release. And so about every 3 or 4 months, we can come up with a pretty damn good, advancement. And so this is probably the biggest one for us. And we did some beta testing before back in July with a lot of you guys, and the same goes for this next week as well. So kind of just walking through our kind of next 100 days game plan. We're really coming through. One of the things you guys know and watched us, we generally list on a few exchanges or exchange about every month, or we do something along the lines of building out our we call props token economy. So Propbase has 2 roadmaps. One is product development, asset tokenization, and the other is for our much beloved native utility token props. And that involves exchange listings. It involves bridges. It involves adding more utility to props. So one of the most exciting parts, and I'm sure that some people know it, is we've secured approvals for another top 10 exchange listing, and we also have a really exciting strategic one. And kind of the way it works for us is once the exchange announces, then we announce, but through NDAs, we can't do anything before. But the most exciting part really for us as well is our full product suite. So we've built the secondary marketplace. We're entering into beta testing here, really starting next week. We have the official timeline really being around the 28th of November. We'll probably have a few of you guys come in and join a little bit before. And the way it works also is really anyone who wants to join. The beta testing is we do two types of testing. We do it at a technical level, which is security wise. But really the beta testing here is for community members. And it's to provide logic around the economics of the models that we built out, the tokenization process, small bugs on things like we always get spelling errors, or we get UI UX design things. And what happens is when we have 50 people go in and spend your valuable time to give us the feedback, we usually take then around 2 more weeks, and it really helps us build what we consider is a first-in-class product. And that's when we're very confident. So we finished the secondary marketplace around 45 days ago, made a whole bunch of changes, moved around things, fine-tuned everything, looked at all of the on-chain protocol that we've tied in together. And so now we're very confident, very similar to where we were with Nexus in July. And then I guess a second part is a lot of community members have asked us what is the next chain that we're going to bridge to. So about 2 months ago, Props did our first EVM bridge, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit over the next few minutes as well. But yes, a lot of community members have reached out to me and asked, what is the next chain? And are you going to go onto Ethereum? And the answer is yes. And the reason is simply because when we bridge our native utility token props to multiple chains, we do it for the purpose to add greater liquidity. And that worked successfully for us for our bridge to base chain. We like that because we can roll out tokenization products later. But for Ethereum, it really comes down to the fact that a lot of people are on Ethereum chain directly, natively, and we want to be there as well. So we have a first question come through. What is a strategic SEX listing? We categorize our SEX listings. I'll move to the next one. We categorize SEX listings into 2 categories. One is top 10 or top 20, and then another is strategic. So it allows us to work with a certain demographic that SEX partner focuses on. We've done a few of them before, and usually it serves a purpose to gain new members who are on those platforms already that are not already on our existing SEX listings. So it allows us to broaden our user base on exchanges to new demographics. And just to give you an example, some are maybe focused in Southeast Asia, some are focused in Korea, some are focused in different types of compliance with US investors, some are focused in European markets. And so we always take that into consideration for us to really build out. And then top 10 SEX listings are usually just ranked by CoinMarketCap. So to give you a quick overview of really where we're at, this is just kind of overall how we've grown. I was talking with Hudson a little bit before, and where we were 6 months ago compared to where we are today is just, phenomenal. And we probably had one of, the best, not only the best launches, but definitely one of the best, 12-month period in terms of adoption, product rollouts, everything. So we like to also keep community members informed. So we have a proven track record of continuing to expand props on exchanges, also on DEX listings. I think now we're at 13 or 14 markets. And we like to kind of be able to give you all a visualization of what we plan to achieve. And we have the track record for the last 12 months that basically mean, what we say we can do, we can achieve that. And the long-term goal, or let's say the end goal, is for Propbase to be, and props to be listed on the top exchanges. So that includes the Binance, the Coinbases, the Bybits, OKX, and most of these exchanges, almost all of them, we have, long-term relationships with, we have strategic partnerships with, and so our objective is just to build up stronger and to continue to roll out and to go on more top exchanges, strategic exchanges, for us to continue to build out our props token economy. That's worked for us over the last, let's say, 12 months, and we think it's going to work for us for these next 12 months as well. Also, we like to go forward with, our plans for the next, let's say, 2 months. And so obviously, give or take a week, we have kind of the best part ahead of us, which is our Apex testnet, which is our secondary marketplace. Our intention is to open up beta testing on Friday of I guess next week, so the 28th of November, and rolling out a full product suite. We've got sex listings, we've got our next asset tokenization offerings identified. We've got website revamps, which we have in our technical roadmap ahead of us. And probably the later thing, probably more in January, mid-January, would be the bridge to Ethereum. And but for right now, our focus is really product launches, sex listings, bringing more assets, and then streamlining the asset offering process. So we achieved a very successful kind of proof of concept, product market fit, and we're now very confident to kind of look for 2025 as being the year of consistent rollout of new assets coming onto the platform, creating liquidity on the secondary market, and bringing assets that both we invest in, that we like, that we're passionate about, and that fit our business model. So at the end of this, let's call it the end of this year, we will have achieved everything our white paper has stated, everything that's in our technical roadmap. And while that might sound, simple, there's a lot of challenges involved, but it kind of just goes to show you that we knew the problems that we wanted to solve. We knew the value that would be brought by solving the problems by using blockchain, fractionalizing assets, bringing it into a platform that's secure, and integrating in a token structure way as our DAO LLCs to do so, where individual owners and individual token holders have the best proof of ownership. And that's something that we're passionate about. The way we tokenize is quite uniform throughout the world. There's lots of platforms doing it, but it is probably one of the best methods that's tried and tested, and allows us to continue to onboard assets and bring new value propositions to everyone. And so that's kind of our let's call it December and January game plan, and give or take a week. But we've done this before in a few presentations, and we've basically hit everything on the dot, and we like to kind of follow through with that way. So going here. So really, in the last 6 months, we were able to achieve quite a few things. And over the next 5-10 minutes, we'll probably kind of go into that. Specifically for new community members here who are just joining us, getting to know us, meeting Hudson, myself for the first time. But we've launched 2 products to mainnet, Propbase Yield and Propbase Nexus, both very successful, and it's allowed us to achieve something. And it's called proof of concept and product market fit, and a very successful one at that. But also, most importantly, we've been able to achieve strong growth within our props token economy. And that's been probably one of the most important factors for us over the last 6 months specifically. We've joined many partnerships to continue to bring more value and utility to props. And we've done so, and we're quite happy and happy to bring that to everyone as well. So going now into kind of on-chain growth, there's 2 aspects there. We have our SEX listings, which has hundreds of thousands of holders, but really the on-chain aspect is what we like to discuss. So going into our on-chain growth, just a few metrics. I know some members here love to track our on-chain growth because you can see it on the blockchain. So our Aptos on-chain holders is around 29,000. We bridge to base chain. We've got almost 2,000 holders over there, and together combined, that kind of brings us up to about 31,000. And if you look at us around 6 months ago, we were at roughly about 6,000 on-chain holders. So that brings us to almost a 4x growth over the last 6 months, and we want to increase that much more as well. And it's a big focus for us. Not only that, but also just the on-chain transactions for the props token contract is 300, 400,000, and then we have many DEX listings as well that continue to do. Oh, sorry. So yeah, and but yeah, and so I think that our on-chain growth has been pretty consistent, and now hopefully going into a good final drive for the end of Q4 as well as a good Q1, we hope to see that on-chain growth begin. Okay, and I'm just checking some of the chats for questions coming in here. So MiCA and MiFID II licensing process. So we'll probably have an update on the MiCA in, let's say, around January of 2025. And the MiFID II application process is still about another year out for us. But we've already established we tokenize real estate assets in 2 different ways. We do one in DAO LLCs, which are for smaller assets. But we've already established a Luxembourg securitization vehicle for security-backed tokens. And so that's more for larger asset offerings that we have conversations with property developers. But for individual hotel rooms right now, we like our DAO LLC process that gives us greater flexibility with token holders and everything. But yeah, the application processes are going smooth, and we have, I think that we didn't get started right away when we announced, but we got started around June, July. And the process for this takes around 18 months. And we also want to make sure that we're on top of things in terms of the ever-evolving landscape that is happening with crypto and Web3, whether it be in Europe or in the United States. As where for real estate tokenization, that's kind of been around for a while. And so, okay, so we've got here, Okay, so just looking through a few questions. I'll keep going on here a little bit. So in terms of social dominance, props, one of the things that's happened for us in the last, let's call it 6 months, is we've significantly grown our dominance across all of social media platforms. Even Hudson and I checking on YouTube today and seeing a huge amount of traction on all of our followers. But even with like Lunar Crush and everything, I just checked this afternoon. We've got 270,008 engagements from top RWA projects. Props continues to make it up there to our surprise, but we like seeing that. And so we always see a huge engagement on X. X is now becoming one of the world's biggest platforms. And so we always intend to kind of double down our efforts on X. And I think that we've done it very well. A part of the next marketing campaign is really to go a lot on YouTube as well, simply because it puts us more visually there to come in, do presentations, talk about our value proposition and everything. I've got one question. And I'll kind of take a few questions, but I do want to get through a few slides here. But Ben24 talked about property ownership in Thailand, 49%. Yeah, but that's for land. So we tokenize hotels. So foreign ownership of 100% is completely compliant and has been. And actually, Thailand has tons of foreign investors coming here. So that's been practically applied and clear and transparent laws for a long time. But yeah. You know, the restriction is we would not be able to tokenize land or industrial parks or those type of things, which we have no intention to do. So we like to focus in the hospitality industry, hotels and resorts, largely in Bangkok. And that's where we kind of see the growth and have been for a while. So kind of going through then to more on the social media dominance is we continue to rank, you know, top 10 or in a week, or we just saw it yesterday on AltDaddy. So we always look at a few sites that have software or websites that can rank, and even with things like Lunar Crush. And so that's kind of how we see our impressions on not only a monthly basis, but daily basis. So we like to kind of see that, and it brings us there. And one of the reasons why is we continue to expand our ambassador program. We have a lot of people who tweet about us. Some of them we know, some of them we don't know. And they're interested in Propbase, or they're interested in what we're doing. One of the benefits we have is Propbase is a pretty easy to understand model. So we fractionalize real estate assets, hotels and resorts into an investment of as little as $100. You can have the same benefits of owning the entire asset, such as rental yield, asset appreciation, and you can sell and buy your tokens when you like on our marketplace, which is what we're just building and just getting into beta testing now. And that's one of the things we like about mainstream adoption is a lot of Web3 projects in the space. I talk with a lot of founders, and even after I say, like, I'll talk with them for 10 minutes and I still don't understand what they do. And so Propbase is kind of the difference on that. And so, yeah, and I see a question from Sunny Libson for Props. When will it be available for iOS and Android? Our plan is the full product suite to be live for 1 to 2 months, and then we've already have it in the pipeline, which would then be to roll them up into apps on both Android and iOS in Q1 of 2025. And so we've stated that, and our 2025 technical roadmap is under revision right now. We've brainstormed a few ideas, and we'll probably publish that around mid-December to late December, and we'll share it with some community members prior to doing so. And so we kind of like that. And then, over the last 6 months, one of the things that we did, which we really liked, was our bridge to base chain. So Aptos is a phenomenal product, but it's non-EVM and it's built on the Move programming language. But it's exceptionally secure. In fact, when we deploy smart contracts, there's a very high likelihood that our intention of what we want to achieve is achieved upon deployment. As compared to Solidity, Rust, other languages, there's high vulnerability for there to be other intentions. And that's why you see a lot of hacks. So Move programming language is definitely one of the best. And the Aptos ecosystem continues to grow. And we love still being, the largest native token deployed on Aptos. And the Aptos community, as well as the core engineers and everything, they're amazing. But one of the barriers we noticed we had was new users who maybe weren't familiar with setting up an Aptos wallet, who still wanted to invest in props, could only do so on an exchange. And because we weren't on Coinbase, we thought deploying to a EVM based product was going to be really good for us. And it turns out it really was. So we've now, we have sufficient liquidity between the two. We successfully bridged our native utility token. There's a lot of security that goes into place, but we were able to achieve that very successfully. And we plan to continue to bridge to more over the near future. And one of the benefits that had for us was really being able to allow users from a wallet infrastructure perspective to be getting into Coinbase Wallet, MetaMask Trust. And, we hope to see maybe 10,000 holders on Base. And then as we go on to Ethereum, another 10,000 holders. Meanwhile, our Aptos holder base continues to hit 50, 60, 70,000. And so that's what we see. And we monitor these almost on a daily basis to make sure that they continue to grow. And if we need to continue to expand or go on more dexes or offer more products to get more user base on chain, we always do that. And yeah, so another thing here we thought was kind of fun was really, we do a lot of events. We try to share stuff. But really, we also like to connect with community members. And so I, caught up with our crypto talk while we were in Singapore, doing some, connecting with people who are influential in the industry. So Propbase has a really good reputation amongst the crypto industry, and we like that. And it's nice talking. We have a lot of individual DMs with lead engineers of Aptos, with major KOLs, people who are super influential on YouTube, and as well as just other builders. So I personally, I love every other RWA builder. I love how they're approaching the market. Just as being so passionate about the industry and disrupting it, it's just a huge market to disrupt. And when Hudson and I kind of started out, nobody was talking about tokenization. But now over the last year, really, it's kind of become all the hype to where it's almost an individual sector in and of itself. And so it's nice seeing a narrative kind of come behind you, and great builders come to the space, and then for us to kind of network with those builders. So we do tons of events. We'll always join very heavy the Token 2049 events. And then just last week, there was DevCon here in Thailand, which was great. We had a few photos there. Joining a few hackathons and meeting also people from exchanges and stuff, which is really what we mostly do, or a few images with the CTO of Aptos, where we catch up and we talk about how we're tokenizing, real world assets and how we're approaching it. And they love hearing from us and our take on the market. Yeah, and so I'm going to read a few questions. But Sunny, I answered your question. Our kind of game plan, you guys, is to launch our full product suite after beta testing. We have 3 security audits that we're going to complete as well. Once that happens, we've now, because the proof of concept product market fit is done, then the objective for 2025 is to streamline our asset tokenization offerings and to onboard new assets, really building out the marketplace. So it could be, a few properties per month, and then 2026, it could be 10, 15 properties per month, and then 2027, 2028, so on and so forth. And that's kind of what we see going forward. And then to really go through with it. And I see Amne DeFi, any partnership with BlackRock in the future. We'd love a partnership. I think as we continue to grow and bring on larger asset offerings, I've had conversations with, a funny story is the CEO of Aptos is very familiar with asset tokenization, specifically real estate assets. And so I know that they're heavily developing infrastructure to bring BlackRock, to bring Buildle, for us to connect with things like Ondo. And to give you an understanding is whether it be directly or indirectly, Propbase intends to do that. And as we bring more attractive assets on chain, big brands like that, big global funds, institutional wealth funds begin taking a bigger look at Propbase. And because we're niche in the market, focusing in Southeast Asia, we actually capture a market that they can't reach. So that's what we see going forward. While we haven't had any conversations, obviously, at this initial stage, it is something that we look forward to over the coming months and definitely over 2025. And that's something that first kind of starts with a lot of their partnerships. We saw Franklin Templeton come to Aptos. We've seen Ondo come to Aptos. We've seen their native stablecoin come to Aptos. And it begins with those type of integrations. And really getting into, building products that people want, right? So Propbase Yield was successfully able to launch. We have a strong community confidence in terms of all of you guys. Every one of our holders is able to use our products. We have almost 100,000 transactions on Propbase Yield. And we hope to, reach 100,000 transactions on our full product suite through asset tokenization here in the coming months. And so that's just kind of our traction, right? So I think you guys interact with this product quite a bit. It's done well. We continue to enhance it. We continue to build out more features inside of it, which we did over the summer as well. And we use the products, right? So we use the products. We interact with them as users. Myself, Hudson, Jesse, the team members, and if we see things that we want to improve, we always do, as well as always welcome for feedback too. Yeah. Okay. New question coming in. And so now we're kind of getting into the marketplace, you guys. So I think our community management team is going to release some videos on Telegram right now. We've already deployed on test, we call it testnet, and through a beta environment. And so we are ready to kind of onboard as many beta testers who want to come on. We'll officially start it on Friday. But, I'm sure that if you reach out to Puma or Brad or Shrey Sith or anyone, they'll give you access earlier on. So probably as early as Tuesday. I think, any questions you have related to the marketplace, we can kind of talk about here for the next 30 minutes. But we're super excited. So we have quite a bit on. I saw your question, Hudson, or from You bring the question.
Yeah, it's you can answer it in the flow, Kevin, but it's a
Yeah.
question about utility of the token. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Well, hey guys, now we're here. So thank you for the 30 minutes, and let's get at it. So we like to do these presentations for you guys so you understand what we're thinking, what our game plan is, and so that you guys can make if things like investment decisions as tuned with it. And then obviously we want you as heavily involved in Propbase. Use our products, tell us your feedback, because that's what makes us better. So for the props utility, Hudson, you can kind of go after it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good question. I know we got it from two of you in the community. The props token, we are always thinking about how we can build more utility into it. And this is, of course, something that, is going to be both a consideration, both for the Yield platform and the Nexus platform. We've obviously discussed it even at previous AMAs that somewhere in our roadmap, we'd be interested in looking at the potential for using the props token to underpin, potential capabilities for, basically lending out those tokens, creating a little bit more of a DeFi capability on the props token. And so
Don't say
for
too
those
much.
of you,
Don't say too much.
but we'll see. It'll be this is this is really early days.
Yeah.
Kevin has the roadmap that he's already put up on the slide, so that's what we're focused on. This is just very early conversations, but we want you all to know that we are focused on utility for the token, and that there are things you can look for in the next 6 months and year, just to know that we're on it.
Yeah. So this year, 2024, we had a lot of, even from our blockchain team, and even interacting with other DeFi platforms on Aptos, we've had a lot of opportunity to build out new additional products. But we wanted to build. So what we first said was, we have a white paper, we have a technical roadmap. Let's complete that first, and let's just do that really well. And then
we gotta have something to start with. Yeah. More properties first.
More properties, more users, more members, more people using our products, that solve the problem of traditional real estate investment. So I'm a firm believer that when people invest in property, they're not going to do it. It was horrible. Hudson and I were both here, in Southeast Asia. It's a little bit better in America and a little bit better in Europe, but in many countries throughout the world, it's a horrible process. It's time consuming. There's lack of transparency. So from not disrupting things like your primary home, but if you want to buy $1,000 and have it backed by a real estate asset and earn rental yield and have the benefit of that asset going up, everyone should be able to do so. And so that's the next wave of what's going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years. And platforms like Propbase are going to lead that charge. And we're very focused in our niche, right? Which is why we don't consider Propbase to really have any direct competitors in Web3. And that's why a lot of people like us, right? So we're very focused in our market. We have tons of people to service. We've got a huge population in Southeast Asia. We have a huge demand for real estate investment. And, people don't want to invest and take 20x, 50x leverage to buy a real estate investment property, and go through multi-month process and credit approvals to do so. And it's incredibly risky and ruins a lot of people's credit just for them to be able to have exposure to, real estate assets, specifically good real estate assets. So that's what we're passionate about. That's what we want to go for. And so next question. But yeah, I mean, 100%. We're all about utility, not only for props, but we're all about utility even for property tokens. So one of the things going into really even the secondary marketplace is giving utility for people who hold property tokens on Propbase. So you can participate in liquidity, which earns a part of the revenue share generated by trading on the platform between one Propbase user to another Propbase user. We're constantly thinking of more utility, not only for props, but also for property tokens. I have a good question. Video Drone 2.0, is there a percentage difference between the sale price of a property being tokenized and the same property sold in a normal way? Maybe Hudson, you can go for it.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. The you know the I'd say this goes actually back to our backgrounds in property and in prop tech, and especially in Thailand. So you know when we look for properties to put on the platform, we are looking for value, particularly right now. So we look for properties that we know are going to generate a good yield. They're going to have high occupancy, but at the same time, we think that they're somewhat undervalued. So, in that sense, what is the approximate difference? It's not so much there's a difference between things that are on the property and things that are on the market, but that we're actively looking for things that are good deals, which is ultimately going to result in better yield and better gains for those of you who are on Propbase. I'd say this is actually one of our differentiators. I mean, Kevin's been on the ground in Southeast Asia for, particularly Kevin, like operating and selling property, for almost like decade and a half, 2 decades. It's getting there, right, Kevin? Like you've got some deep relationships, and so when things are well priced or underpriced, and I think that's where we bring that in terms of the getting the good prices for properties that go on the Propbase platform.
Yeah. So Propbase does not buy properties and then tokenize them and then sell them on the marketplace. We invest at the same price. We also buy property tokens in each asset we bring onto the platform at the same price that all investors come. And the way our platform works, is, especially Nexus, is it has to go through a crowdfunding process. It has to reach a certain percentage. And it's only when that's occurred and there's this kind of mass consensus that this is a well-priced property, and hoping that everyone comes to the same conclusion that we came to, which is that we think this property is one, everything is the likelihood of generating the yield is very highly likely. We focus in specifically hotels and resorts because we see tourism doubling over the next 5 years. And there's a strong track record of asset appreciation for the last 10 years. So if we were to go to other markets or other countries, it could change a little bit, but we kind of focus here, and we know the market with crystal clarity, and we strike the best possible deals, even securing assets at below market value. And in practical application, once they're tokenized, they should be tokenized at a premium. So our objective is to secure properties at about 10% below market value, bring them onto the platform, and then compared with appraisal price, should then be valued at 10-15% above market price. And so and that's what we're passionate about. I mean, we're investors in the properties as well, either directly through Propbase or even as individual users. And so that's our differentiator, and that's what kind of makes us good. I got Dodger Blues got a question. So new construction resort properties in the works. We have a portfolio of assets that we can bring onto the platform, but these are all built. They're all built, operating, and they have proven track records of rental income. So we like that. Will we do pre-construction projects? Yes, but that's a little bit different, and we'd probably be using securitization vehicles to do so, compared to DAO LLC-based legal framework. So yeah, the answer is yes, but not right now. Our objective is just to bring really good assets where individual investors don't need to necessarily worry about tenant management, property maintenance, but yet, people who invest in properties on Propbase doesn't own the properties. So they're placed into a DAO LLC. The ownership of the actual property is the token contract and the token address within the articles of memorandum. And so the token holders are the actual owners of the asset. We own some of those tokens just like everyone else. And then there's governance and voting deciding what to do with the asset. But we choose assets where you don't necessarily have to deal with tenants, tenant management, specifically over the first few years. So usually there's third-party hotel operators, they're global brands, they know what they're doing. They can do that much better than we can, and so we like to rely on their expertise. So, do you see another good question?
Yeah, Kevin, there's a question on. I think you can address this one pretty quickly, but from Nazif Fake, is there any risk that the value of tokens that people will sell on Apex is too high, making the value of the hotel too high compared to the market price of the same hotel quality? Maybe I'll take a stab at that, and Kevin, you can chime in. But when we do the tokens of the properties, those actually aren't similar to the props token in that it's not the price of that is not going to adjust based on how many people are buying. So there's not a token economy to our property tokens. The token for the property is a representation of your ownership of a share of that property. And so that will always be in line with the market price of that property on sort of the analog market. So that's not something that we need to worry about, that there's going to be a divergence over time.
I have a good question here. Great answer. I don't, but Charitra Bansel, and remember we've got giveaway here, Hudson. So you got to pick the giveaway guys. So they're in our Telegram chats, the questions. I see them coming through. And just thank you, everyone. I mean, honestly, I know your time is very valuable. These questions and this interaction and doing this with you guys, especially over the next week, is really important to us. So Charitra Bansel says, are you going to extend... oh, sorry. Let me look here. Are you going to extend Dubai?
Yeah, and there's another question on properties in other places. Maybe you could take it as a whole, right, Kevin? Like,
yeah.
Plans for
so, and I kind of talked about this before, but Propbase is I'm specifically really good in Southeast Asia, whether it be mainland Southeast Asia or all the other markets. Dubai real estate market, I know very little of. However, one of the things that is on our technical roadmap for 2025 is when we approach property developers. So we work with property developers. The first thing they ask us is, can I have this as my own platform? And our answer is yes, 100%. So we intend to not only be able to have Propbase be the only marketplace, but also to use and enable white label solutions. So once, if there was a third-party partner who wanted to approach us for real estate tokenization in another market, and they wanted to use a white label solution and just use our skill-based technology and infrastructure setup, the answer is yeah, 100%. We could be there. Maybe not directly on the prop-based marketplace, but the utility for props would still be the same, so it'd benefit props token holders, right? So we see that as kind of a win-win. But our focus really is Southeast Asia, and we've got a huge opportunity ahead of us, and we're greenfield, so there's not a lot of competitive markets. There's not a lot of competition in the area, and so our objective is to blitz scale 2025, bring on as many assets on chain as possible, and build critical mass. But we also have to consider the demands that a lot of our real estate developers have. And so the other one is, so you answered the question for the hotel, the props price and stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's a real world asset, right? One of the governance feature sets could be if we launched a token that was trading at $100 and then we had an off-chain offer for $200 per token, we could go through a governance vote and detokenize it and sell it on the real world market. That would be something that could happen. And we state that a lot in our FAQ section on our website. And will there be, oh, sorry, I was seeing the question, and will there be assets higher than 7%? Because it's real yield, it's not like someone trying to just guarantee this is the yield. It's real yield coming in. It ranges between 7 and 10% net in our markets. And but we built kind of something cool within the secondary marketplace, not in the demo version, but within our staging environment. We actually have a way to automate things like some additional incentives. So we have a very strong native utility token. It has utility across all of our products. If we as the company wanted to give additional benefit to property token holders, we have the framework in order to do so, to make it be maybe a short-term benefit for the property token holders. And we'd love to do that, because we do that with prop-based yield. We give bonuses all the time. We specifically for people who participate. So we would do that as well, whether it be in props or USDT or some form of compensation. That would be how it kind of goes up a little bit higher. But the traditional one is genuinely between 7 and 10%. But then you have asset appreciation, which is anywhere from 5 to 7%. So combined, it's actually much. It's pretty good. Okay, so if you can get anywhere from 14 to 16% per year in what we call rate of return, right? It's hard to beat. Yeah. In the real world, right? So in with crypto and third party like staking platforms and stuff like that, it's easier to go up higher. But when it's asset backed, having it be, and when it's all transparent on the blockchain with all of the documentation and agreements and everything, those are kind of the standards. The only other option is our model also works in the United States, and myself, Jesse, and Hudson are in the United States. I wouldn't be surprised, but to set up and one of the things that we have on our plans, but probably not 2025, would be to tokenize some assets in the United States. But yeah, I think that our focus really is just Southeast Asia for right now. But continue to roll out, but just simply because I don't know, Hudson, but because we're Americans, so.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I think, we want to do right by the community, and actually the best way to do that is to leverage where we think we have an asymmetric advantage. And so, Southeast Asia definitely is something we want to get right. It's a market where I think there's a lot of value we can uncover. And so, that's definitely a big reason why, we really want to make sure that Thailand and maybe regionally we're able to get some value onto the platform. I mean, I think that's utility for a global community of real estate owners because it's diversification, right? I mean, people can buy, it's easier to sort of think about, oh, maybe I'll buy a timeshare of something in a developed country. But, if you're able to do it in some of the sort of developing markets, we see that being a differential. But to Kevin's point, I mean, it's always nice to be able to do something from where you're from. But we'll see. It's later on the commercial roadmap on that front.
Yeah, I mean, look, our model has real use case, real scalability, and solves a major pain point facing the industry specifically here. When I talk to people in not online, but just when they hear about Propbase, they're really interested, right? And it solves a massive problem. And that's what we're passionate about, right? So we've always used technology to solve consumer pain points and create a better way to do something. And with Propbase, consumers, especially ones that are between 20 to 40, they're always looking for something new. Blockchain right now is I mean, cryptocurrency in general is growing in popularity and adoption. This is great for us. It wasn't that way in 2022. But consumers want something new. They want something they can do directly from a smartphone. They want something they can do in 5 to 15 minutes. And Propbase is that solution. And so our focus 100% will always be to laser drive down on getting into the next layer of product enhancements and product details that really make and streamline that process. And I think that's when a tech platform, from my experience anyway, we only got real strong adoption and traction and everything after, let's say, V2, V3, V4 of product enhancements. And that was when we really got the stickiness, and that's when we really understood, the product at a level that nobody else would understand. And I think that with Propbase, we're at that, let's call it V1 stage, or that version 1. And then over 2025, as we dive down into more features, more utility for property tokens, integrations with other platforms, that is our core focus and will be for a while. I hope I answered that too.
Good answer.
Yeah. Okay, so it's coming on the hour. I'll kind of do let's see here. I want to make sure that we've got everyone's questions coming in. Alexander Legolas, yes, we're going to be doing lending borrowing very quickly in Q1, or sorry, in H1 of 2025. That's one of our objectives. Airdrops on chain, we don't really do airdrops because it creates unnecessary sell pressure. So one of the things that we like is having a really healthy props token. We significantly reduced any sort of inflation. I think everyone can kind of see that over the last 12 months. We just want to keep a healthy props token. We want to create more utility. We want to bring on more holders. We want to have time to build more products and create utility specifically in those products. The model of Propbase, as new users come to the platform and they don't have props, they need to go buy it on an exchange, or whether it be a centralized exchange or a decentralized exchange. And that's one of the core feature sets of creating a healthy token economy. And as more users come to the platform, the demand of props increases, and so too does the value. And that's kind of the key recipe, and that's what's stated in our white paper. Yeah, so we're gonna open up the demo so that you guys can go in and go and check it out. And if anyone has specific questions related to the secondary marketplace or wants access, we're opening up access as early as Tuesday and then officially on Friday. And yeah, I think that's kind of our kind of core focus. Yeah, I think that's and yeah, we're another thing that we're doing on the marketing side. Yeah, we're enhancing our video production. So you'll see that we already were doing it about a week ago or a few weeks ago. So whether it be promo videos, but this is also related to marketing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as familiar with TikTok, but Hudson, I don't know if you'd like to chime in, but you know, we'd love to explore. Eventually, what happens, you guys, is right now we're very focused on X. We like to make sure that we can be a market leader within one platform. Our next objective is YouTube. This is why we're here. And then afterwards, it really comes all social media platforms, right? So, but we like to make sure when we open an account, we keep it up to date. We streamline all the posting, and we continue to grow and engage with people who are in those communities.
Yeah, the only thing I'll chime in with is as those of you who create content know, it can be quite the full-time job. And so, you know, when it comes to especially platforms like TikTok, where that's really like quite the investment of time. We'll get to it probably at some point. You know, to tack it on to another question that someone asked, you know, how are we going to bridge to more sort of non-core crypto community users, right? And so, you know, eventually, you know, we know we're going to have to tap into more traditional channels of sort of you know, non-crypto community. But for now, you know, we want to first focus on building up the, you know, number of properties on the platform, the utility, and then we have a lot to talk about. You know, we'll hopefully have properties in different places, and we can start profiling them. So it's a yes. In the future, it's definitely something we'll look into. For the near term, we want to focus on getting to be in the right place to have things to really talk about and you know, show the larger community out there.
Yeah, I got another question coming from GB. Why are there two separate websites for staking and Nexus? There actually aren't. It's all on the same website, but they're two separate subdomain. That's a security thing. So when we say wrapping things up into a full product suite, we will be wrapping it up into one subdomain, but we'll probably keep the staking at propbase.app subdomain for a while. And then we do it from security perspective. So there's separate hosting, so security measures for each, restrictions for each, and that allows us to maintain a very secure infrastructure. But it's the same website, it's just separate subdomains. Yeah, it's kind of the standard way for a lot of products to roll out. Okay. Hey, Hudson, are you identifying some awesome community members who will get the benefit of joining us and asking questions?
How many are we doing today, Kevin? Are we doing one?
Well, we can. I'm thinking this. We said $100. It's in props, you guys. But I'm thinking just because today we've got a lot of core community members here, we can increase that to 200 and maybe pick 4 winners.
Wow, generous day. Okay, I'll do my best here.
we do that. You can have a few minutes, and I'll continue to look. So you guys, we don't choose. Hudson chooses. Hudson chooses. And if our community management team sees anyone who's kind of gone above and beyond, we'd love to let us know really quick, you guys. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Those are good questions. You're right. And I'll kind of go through some community questions that I think we were not able to get to. Also, keep in mind, you guys, my DMs are always open. You can also ask questions. Also, starting on Tuesday, we're opening things up. Anyone can go in and begin to take a look. Keep in mind it's beta testing, so you need things like everything is on testnet. So you wouldn't be able to use the real props. You wouldn't be able to use real USDT. You wouldn't be able to get real property tokens, right? But it's all test. So in order for you to interact with the beta, you have to get those. And we'll set up a system very similar to where we set up in July for our beta testing for Nexus. Almost exactly the same. So that was easy. Once you have those tokens, then you can go in and interact. It's super cool, by the way. I mean, the way we built out the platform, how the protocol itself is completely decentralized, how it's non-custodial. We really pushed the boundaries of blockchain. And honestly, it wasn't me. It was really, the Aptos team who looked at it and was like, hey, you guys, you're keeping everything decentralized, right? As where the websites are just the interfaces, right? So let's see here. Okay, trying to get in here. Yeah, ETH Bridge is kind of the probably around late January. We dropped the video. Yeah, thank you so much for mentioning. I'm just trying to see, and if we didn't get your question, you guys, feel free. Who will control the governance of the property tokens is the token holders, with us setting up basic governance procedures, which we already have outlined in some documentation on Nexus. But really what it comes down to, a lot of the property tokens don't need a lot of governance in the beginning. But as a few years roll out, there might be there's definitely going to be some governance voting. But we're trying to reduce let's say the complexity or with the physical asset, right? So this is why we focus in the type of assets. So they're largely new. There's not a lot of property maintenance to be had. A lot of it's under contract by the property developer for 10 years. And we like that, right? And that's cool for us. Okay, I think we hop on it. Hudson.
Yeah, I think we got our winners. Okay. I'm very happy to give it out a shout out to Abhishek Srivastava, Ben24. Thank you guys for your great questions. And we're doing 4, right, Kevin? Are we doing 2 or 4? Don't let me get ahead of myself here. Okay. And then I'd also like to say the same to Videodron 2.0 and Mend. So congratulations to you all. Thank you for your great questions, as always. Spreading the knowledge to the community. I'd ask you to please put your Telegram username into the YouTube comment, to verify if you guys might have a different username in YouTube, and so that our moderation team can reach out to you guys and get this sorted.
Yeah, awesome, you guys. Congratulations, Mend. You've been with us for a while. You're a core community member. We wish you guys all could win. We try and do it fairly, but I think in probably next week we'll probably do another one. And but more importantly, you guys, one of our biggest focus is we want to roll out really good products. We want to do so very securely. We love marketing. We love, continuing to build out the props token economy, more exchange listings. We do this because we want to provide everyone in our community an equitable return, not only for property tokens, but also new people who come in and invest in props. So that's what we're passionate about. We want to grow. That's our job as a project, as the founding team. We see not only 2025, but we even see the short-term growth here over the next few months as really being able to take everything that we're doing to the next level. And you know, I was talking to Hudson before, and I was like, I would hate to be, you know, developing an idea right now, right? Because it takes, you know, a year to roll out product and to do everything. You know, we've really been building with a full-time team for about 12 months. You could almost even say about 11 months. And but we build extremely fast, and we do so very securely. And yeah, you know, we thank everyone for participating with us. We'll also have a bonus for everyone who participates in the demo and gives us feedback. And we like to do that just to show that, you know, you're taking your time and giving us that valuable feedback that will make products better, help us identify things that maybe we didn't see before. And we think that that's the win-win from the community, right? So, and Propbase and props, you know, specifically props is a community-driven token, right? And will be from the day it started to 10 years in the future. And so a lot of our success, we contribute to everyone's participation here and all of your commitment into spreading awareness around Propbase, talking to friends about what we're doing. And, you know, our job is focus on execution and show real results that have tangible traction in the space and build products that people like to use and solve problems. And so we hope to continue to do that, you know, for the next foreseeable future. And definitely we'll be looking at really connecting with everyone over the next week, really closely to, you know, communicate either directly with myself or Hudson or our community management team. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. But, you know, we're really happy to be here. This is the fun stuff, and happy that all the questions came in and we went a little bit overtime.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you for spending part of your Saturdays with us. We know your time is valuable, but just know that we also value you. So have a good one.
Yeah, awesome, guys. All right, tuning off, and we'll see you in a few days. Okay, bye.
Bye.